Greetings, greetings, everyone. Happy Friday to you. My favorite time of the week because it is Epic Cash Live. And let me just share my screen and tell you why I have not referenced anything about April Fool's Day. Because as we can see here, April Fool's Day is canceled this year because no made-up prank could match the unbelievable shit the world is going through right now. And I stand by that. So instead, what we've done is we have called this Surveillance Fool's Day. And if you haven't been paying attention, there's a lot of legislation that is trying to be passed here in the future. Max, maybe go on mute. I'm hearing shuffling. Thank you. There is a lot of things going on out there, you know, like with the EU Parliament that we're going to take a deep dive in. But before we do, I wanted to take this opportunity for those of you who may have not met him. I saw your son in the background, didn't I, Todd? I'm hoping that he shoots a Nerf something at your head this show, please. It's just not a good show without it. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is Todd Lewis. He is our lead tech. He's the one that made the tech decisions that we did to make our blockchain unstoppable and private by default. And I wanted Todd to just give us 10 minutes, if you would. First, Todd, if you would please just give us kind of an update, a tech update on what's going on in Epic land. E3 was released recently, and good for you and your team of techs.
It wasn't me, man. At this point, I think I'm more the honorary head tech than the actual head tech. Like, there are so many more people working so much harder than I am on this project right now.
Okay. But do they wear Sesame Street shirts?
Representing the street. I love the t-shirt. I think it's vintage at this point. I bought it at Target like 15 years ago.
And you haven't taken it off since. That's what I respect about you. You're a creature.
Well, in a way, you do represent the street. I mean, at least honorarily. What was it, 20 years ago, and deep in the bowels of Goldman Sachs and Standard Chartered. So there's a double entendre aspect to the shirt as well that maybe missed on first consideration.
I do also represent the street. It's true. I am the designated Wall Street representative on the Epic Cash project. So I might be a double agent, fellas. Always keep that suspicion in the back of your mind. All right.
I was going to ask, let's look for any signs, guys, in the background or whatever.
Constant vigilance.
Any Masonic signs? I mean, the way he parts his hair, you know, the way he shaves, there has to be something there. There has to be something there. Max, if you were there in his presence, just like at the Oscars, if you could go up and just slap the heck out of Todd, you know, let's get his response and see if that extra padding that was on his face falls off.
Paper beats rock.
Yes. So anyway, Todd, let's get serious here. Thank you for joining the show. Please, just give us a little insight to E3. And do that first, and then I have a follow-up question for you.
Yeah, so version 3 is out, which means, of course, that all the people who didn't test V3 before the release are now testing it after the release.
I bet you that's a whole different, excuse my language, but shitstorm, isn't it? People who,
you know, I mean, we want it to work well. So that, like, there are issues being raised, and we're working them, and we're trying to get them fixed as fast as we can. None of it's it'll all be fixed in short order. You know.
Hey, if you waited for tech to be perfect before releasing it, how long would it likely take?
Well, it'd take a while. Yeah. So, but that's the thing of the moment, you know, is just responding to the bug reports of V3. And it's transient stuff, like the balance is wrong until the next block ticks through or whatever. You know, it's
I see.
There are some more serious things, there are some less serious things, but I don't see anything we can't fix.
Beautiful.
And then the the slowdown is just us doing all the tech things of making the reproducible test case and adding the logging and the blah blah blah, all the things you have to do when you're finding and fixing bugs.
You love this, don't you?
This is my favorite part of
this
it.
Is a 1 and this is an O. You love smashing 1s and O's, right?
Man, the less sexy and glamorous and the more grindy it is, the more I'm in my comfort zone, because getting that grind on is where the success comes from, man. So
okay, you know what? That tees up a really nice segue for my second question here. So this weekend I'm going to be doing a very short presentation at a conference here in Brandon, Florida, and the name of the conference is Let's Go Brandon. And there are going to be 250 attendees there who are likely very, very crypto savvy, likely, have been in crypto for a while, and most certainly are, they favor privacy coins. Now, I know we are not a privacy coin, but we happen to be a coin that's private. So that is not our badge of honor that we're a privacy coin. But the fact is that we are private, perfectly private, is kind of cool. But this video may be the first that these folks who are introduced to Epic Cash over the weekend ever see or hear. So you're the head guy. Why MimbleWimble? What is it, and how does it work, and how does that make my transactions private?
MimbleWimble is so beautiful, and it changes the entire dynamic around blockchain privacy, because MimbleWimble does a pretty simple thing. Okay, MimbleWimble is a mathematical proof that however many coins you have coming into a transaction, it's equal to the number of coins coming out of the transaction, right? So typically you'll send in a coin and part of it will go to your recipient and part of it will come back to you as the UTXO, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in a traditional ledger, that's all transparent. With MimbleWimble, those quantities are not visible to anyone who's not a party to the transaction. But they do still know that even though I don't know how many coins are coming in, I do know that the quantity that comes in is equal to the quantity that comes out. So you're not defrauding the chain by increasing the money supply in the course of the transaction, but the quantities and the split after the transaction are completely opaque. You cannot see them. And so what this does, and I feel like this is really not appreciated as deeply as it probably should be by a lot of the privacy enthusiasts, is it means that many of the problems that the earlier generations of cryptocurrency privacy protocols, many of the problems they were engineered to solve are actually now just obsolete. They're not a problem anymore, because much of the earlier privacy concern was, well, it's a distributed ledger. So of course, every transaction has to have quantities in and quantities out. So given that everyone can see the quantities, how can we hide the identities, right? That was the problem you were solving in those earlier generations of privacy.
Okay.
Right? But in the newer one, there are no wallets and there are no quantities. So all of a sudden, this problem just got way simpler and easier, right? Like, how do we hide? Oh, wait, there's not much information to hide here, right?
Yeah.
It's just not that visible. And this is why I think the earlier generations of privacy protocols are, I think, really good if you want to try to create privacy in a surveillance-friendly environment.
Okay. That is kind of the mic drop, right?
Yeah. I mean, in a world where everyone can see the accounts and everyone can see the input quantities and everyone can see the output quantities, how do we generate privacy? That's the problem the earlier generations of protocols are solving. And so, the question that Epic asks is, given that you can't see the accounts and you can't see the input quantities and you can't see the output quantities, what problems are left to solve?
Right. Right.
And it's really a pretty small set of problems. The only problem you have in the MimbleWimble universe is, of course, you can still see the web of transactions, right? So you can, because every transaction still has to be an entry on the blockchain. We haven't figured out how to hide that part yet. The fact that there was a transaction and what the input was and where the outputs go, you can't see the quantities, but you still know that there were inputs and outputs, and you can still link the transactions that way.
Would it be, would it be similar to like if you walk into a room and you see a puddle of water and you try and guess how beautiful and big the ice sculpture was that generated it?
No, I mean, it's not the
because
web
you know that something happened, but you lack the necessary components to really give it meaningful context.
No, I mean, that's closer to what the encryption does, right? So the transaction graph is still visible, but with MimbleWimble, you can obscure that as much as you want, right? You can do transactions with other people, and then it's totally not clear. Like, was it 1,000th of an epic that went here and 10,000 epic that went here? Or was it 1,000th of an epic that went here and 10,000 went there? No one outside can know, right?
Yeah.
So all you have to do is send some microtransactions back and forth, and you can color the graph however you want it to be.
Well, educate us on this then. MimbleWimble isn't the only tech used. I don't know any specifics on this, but you do. Can you educate us on the purpose of CoinJoin and Dandelion? Because isn't that part of our protocol as well?
It is, and they're nice things that let us not have the exact IP address of the person submitting the transaction, right? So you can't tie it back to their cable modem or cell phone account or whatever.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, and we do obscuration like that. The torrent tunneling and slate packs in general in V3 also make it really easy to push epic transactions through all different kinds of channels that are encrypted and obscured. And we continue to widen the set of ways that people can indirectly get transactions into the network, right? So that it's not tied back to their IP address and their identity at a particular point in time. Got
it. And one thing that I just kind of want to get out ahead of, so it's feedback that I've gotten from people. So currently there's one really good way to be able to acquire Epic, and that's with the Vite multi-wallet exchange. It's a great exchange. You need BTC to be able to acquire Epic, but it's Epic 002, which happens to be a token. So the Epic that you buy on Vite, if somebody has your Vite address, they can see into your wallet. They don't know who you are, but they can see how many you have. So that would be surveilled because it is not on the Epic blockchain. Now, with the release of E3, that really greatly enhanced our GUI wallet. And so now the GUI wallet is a much more user-friendly experience and is going to continue to be. Like everything else, the GUI wallet was recently published, and they're still working on how to make it more user-friendly. Move forward a couple of months, and likely we've talked about it before, the Diego wallet, where he really focuses on the UI experience, is going to be out, to where that's when you can get all of your coins off of Vite. You could get them all off today if you wanted to do the GUI wallet. But question I have, and this could be answered by you, but the coins that are on BitMart that will be on BitMart, and Max, maybe this is more of a you question, but those will not be tokenized, right? Those will be the actual Epic Cash coins that will be for sale. They won't be like Epic 002 on Vite. Is that fair to say? Okay, correct. Great. So then moving it from BitMart to your GUI wallet, then would that be, if someone were surveilling BitMart, they would be able to see that you, because that is a KYC, moved yours to a wallet. But once then they hit that wallet and you control that, the transactions from that point on, other than somebody knowing that you did acquire Epic on a KYC exchange, those then will never be able to be surveilled. Do I have that right?
And
Yeah,
also
I mean,
remember, on the Epic network itself, you can send transactions through Tor. So in the new E3 GUI wallet, you can tunnel through Tor. You don't have to open ports or do ngrok anymore. So yes, you are exposed to full surveillance if you use a KYC exchange. But then once you jump off and start using the Epic network natively, then the trail goes cold.
Yeah, and from personal experience, I tried downloading the GUI wallet, and it's still a little bit intimidating me, but consider the source there. But I think I do represent a lot of people. And so the Tor functionality of that, maybe at some point we could do a live stream to where someone could kind of walk us through that visually. What does that mean? In my mind, I don't know what Tor is. I've heard it. I've never used it. Is it another internet? Is it I don't know, and we don't have to answer that now, but I just do want to let people know that we are sensitive to all of that. But the cool thing is, with E3 being released, now all of the added development of all these creative people that can focus on UI, now that all can be spun up. Todd, now I understand you're pretty excited because about ready to hire a couple new devs, few new devs, yeah?
Yeah, we got a couple new guys joining the team here in the next few weeks, and we are ramping up our development efforts down here. And I mean, we just talked about several of the issues where we have so much headroom in this thing, so much headroom to improve how we interact with other coins, how we make it easier for people to preserve their anonymity. Oh man, the number of new features that we have on our list. Like my favorite one is Epic is multi-algorithm proof of work chain.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons we made it multi-algorithm is to make it future-proof. So I personally am super excited about getting some of these new quantum resistant cryptography algorithms on our testnet and get the code working and tested, because the serious half of the cryptography community lives in constant fear that something we don't yet understand about quantum computing might become understood, and in the process make big chunks of our current cryptography algorithms obsolete overnight.
Right.
Like this is the cryptography equivalent of the nuclear apocalypse scenario.
Yep.
Right. And there are people spending billions and billions of dollars on quantum computers trying to create precisely such breakthroughs.
Yeah. Well, I believe that that there is a bounty out that is, I think, $650,000. Maybe it's more, for anyone who can crack Monero and break up their obfuscation. Can you just explain the difference? Because I know I'm going to a privacy conference to where people are concerned about privacy, and I want to be able to have a little credibility when I say, look, if Bitcoin, if Satoshi would have created Bitcoin in 2008, it would have been exactly what he published. And if he would have done it in 2014, it likely would have been Monero. If he would have done it in 2019 using 2019 tech, it most certainly would have been MimbleWimble with a combination of Dandelion, CoinJoin, Epic Cash. So that, can you provide just, again, this isn't an either or. We hope people, we love the privacy community and the privacy coins. It can be both and. But can you tell the difference to those who might be watching this video and being introduced to Epic Cash for the first time, the difference in tech between Epic Cash and Monero?
It's so simple. It's so simple. We have monetary history going back in written form over 3,000 years.
Okay.
Okay. So that's 30, 150 generations of human experience with money.
Okay.
At no point during those 150 generations has anyone doing business ever voluntarily chosen a money system which renders their balances and their transactions open to outside inspection without their permission.
Yeah, right.
That's never been a choice that people have made in our long experience with money.
Right.
Right. And the reason it was done that way in 2008 was we didn't have the digital technology to avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it was done. It's not because it was a superior engineering option. It's because we didn't know how to achieve the goal. And today we do. Today we do. We know how to build a form of digital money that matches what people's behavior has been for the past 3,000 years. And that's Epic Cash.
Exactly right. Can you give you, Max, any insight? I mean, one of the things that I'm seeing is these CBDCs are really, really coming to the front burner. And this is programmable cash or currency, right? So this is where the banks, if they're trying to eliminate the cashless society, it's going to be to push us into these CBDCs to where they want people to transact with those CBDCs. So can you just kind of give insight to people, some of the, if they haven't really thought about it or haven't really cared, what does that mean to the normal person and their financial behavior?
Let me take this one.
Sure.
You appear to be outside of your approved geolocation. Purchase declined. A surplus fossil fuel tax will be taken from your account this month based on your driving records.
Oh, wow.
You've reached your quota of meat this month. Purchase declined.
So these are really central bank digital coupons, not currency, right? They can be declined, taken away.
They always have been.
Right.
They just haven't had the mechanisms for enforceability.
Right.
These are, remember, to us, this is our money, but to the people who run these systems, the central banks, to use Agustin Karsten's phrase, these are expressions of central bank liability. So like you think you put your money in the bank, it's your money. No, you lent it to them and you have a claim on an institution. Hopefully they will pay you back in the future. And that's pretty fundamental and it's often missed. So the core concepts of how people relate to their money and currency are fundamentally different in Epic and the other assets that are coming like EUSD versus these other systems, fiat and CBDC paradigm.
Okay, so the CBDC paradigm, which is front and center, basically cryptocurrency is a threat, right? Which is why they're doing things like this. Here's an article, let me bring it up. EU Parliament committees vote to crack down on crypto transfers. The proposal called for crypto firms to reveal info about the sender and receiver of crypto transfers. Coinbase executives said the measures would unleash a surveillance regime on exchanges, stifle innovation, and undermine self-hosted wallets. So breaking, the Econ and Liebe committees of the EU Parliament voted in favor of the FTR compromises, D&E, that crack down on unhosted wallets. Entire regulation draft to be voted on later today, but it will certainly go through. If this doesn't scare the crap out of people and wake people up, may I introduce you to Epic Cash? There's this Uncle V dude who covers it, has covered it for about a lot of you will binge on Netflix series, but I invite you to rewind in my channel, go way down, and find me in a white wig pointing, declaring Epic coin either a shit coin or a not shit coin. That's where my journey began, and everything since. Just go binge watch it. Spend a month, 24 hours a day binge watching it and catch up, or visit epic.tech, your choice. But I'm telling you, this should really, really, really concern people, because that kind of legislation is going to go through. Now, Todd and Max and Yoga, I ask you, if that type legislation went through, and let's just say that I call them the Druid Babylonian bastards who run the show, came out and they said, we're stopping crypto transactions. Is Epic Cash stoppable?
I mean, not in the same way, because you can't see the wallets and you can't see the amounts. So, well, and like, here's the really funny thing about all this is people talk about the hypothetical situations this might unleash in the future. Man, it happened last month in Canada.
Yeah. Unpack that.
Like it's not theoretical. It literally just happened.
Explain what happened to those who may not know.
Oh, the Canadian government went in and locked down, fundraising for the truckers doing civil disobedience. And they did it through the traditional banking system, and they did it through crypto exchanges as well. Just a blanket government order saying that following people are blacklisted, and no Canadian financial or crypto institutions will transfer funds to them.
Done.
Emergency powers.
Yeah, emergency
no court
powers.
order necessary.
And Max,
right?
Max, can you give insight on that mother that I think she sent $50 to the truckers?
If you use a surveillance coin to do really anything, imagine picking a side in the Ukraine mess as an example. Perhaps it's apocryphal, but apparently there was a woman who lost her job, not just her bank accounts, just her entire livelihood for donating $50 in BTC to the truckers. So there's a PDF out from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police that has, I think, a few hundred, I can't remember the exact number, addresses of all types of coins. And there was a bulletin that went out and said, hey, Canadian financial institutions, check your records. Anyone associated with any of these addresses. Now, remember, Monero has addresses, and there was a Monero address on there. So wait, I thought Monero couldn't be traced. But if you did a withdrawal to your friend and paid him for a poker bet, okay, now you're linked to terrorist activity. Well, let's just be safe and shut everybody down. So if you use these surveillance coins, you need to be aware of the risk that you're taking.
And by shutting everything down, I mean, they're literally freezing accounts, right? To where people can't have access to their bank accounts. I mean,
it's not just freezing access. That makes it sound pretty benign. You lose all your money, not just that money, but all the other money as well.
Jesus.
And it's gone. Yeah.
Well, I would go ahead, finish that.
And it's gone. Like, we should just say that over and over. That's it right there, man. And it's gone.
Oh, people won't get the reference.
Speaking of which, I'm gone, guys.
Okay. Well, thank you. You have been awesome as always. Really appreciate your update, Todd.
Good to see you, man.
All right. Have a great weekend. All right, everyone. I want to look at you. I want to look at you, and I want you to raise your hand, physically raise your hand if you love your freedom, if you believe in your freedom, if you believe your financial decisions should be yours, if you feel that your transactions should be private, if you feel that it should be shared, or if you feel otherwise, do you look at me like I am the bad guys, that I am this conservative head in your sand? Why am I asking you this? Well, Max, I know you'll know this. What is the market cap for Ethereum?
Right around 400 billion.
400 billion. And just by the way, what's our market cap right now?
40 million.
40 million, 400 billion. Okay.
So that's 10,000 times.
Okay. So those of you who love you some Ethereum, I want to share something with you, and I hope you're paying attention. This was recently tweeted by Vitalik. He's the head of the Ethereum snake, if you will. 3.6 million followers this went to. And he wrote a piece called In Defense of Bitcoin Maximalism. Let's go there, shall we? Yes, we shall. What I want you to notice, first freaking paragraph. The future of the world won't be one major cryptocurrency or even a few, but many cryptocurrencies. And the winning ones will have strong leadership under one central roof. Centralization, folks. One central roof to adapt rapidly to users' needs for scale. Bitcoin is a boomer coin, and Ethereum is soon to follow, whatever the hell that means. It will be newer and more energetic assets that attract, get this, the new waves of mass users who don't care about, this is you. If you raised your hand when I was doing that, that's why I went through that exercise. Let me say it again. It will new waves of mass users who don't care about weird libertarian ideology or self-sovereign verification, are turned off by toxicity and anti-government mentality. Max, you brought that to my attention. What do you have to say about that?
Weird libertarian ideology, huh? Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here in the United States. We like our liberty and would prefer to keep it, and are admired from the world over for those liberties. So I would have to say that I completely 100% disagree with Vitalik on this point, and am dismayed that he considers those beliefs to be weird and radical. And if you read the rest of that article, maybe you understand why this man was recently interviewed by Time magazine and invoked the example of Mark Zuckerberg and effectively said, if he can censor, for good reasons, of course, well, we should be able to as well. And so if you understand the Ethereum merge, as it's called, to proof of stake in that vein, and you understand that Ethereum services such as Infura, OpenSea, and MetaMask, which are geofenced and are picking sides in these political battles, you have to really now evaluate blockchain networks on the basis of political views in a way that you didn't before. So we are unequivocally more Bitcoin than Bitcoin. If you deep dive into the DNA of Bitcoin, as we have, I've read the white paper probably over 100 times at this point. There's a book coming of that title as well. If you really understand what Bitcoin was created to do, then never in a million years would you touch BTC with your ex-wife's husband's 10-centimeter pole.
Wow. Well, with that, I want to pivot to a couple of pieces of really great news. One is, I've said it on this channel before, I wish there were 1,000 Uncle Vigilantes that cover Epic Cash. And I really want to give a shout out to a gentleman named Finance Your Independence. I want to show you his YouTube channel. And I would like everyone that watches this, please go to Finance Your Independence. He has 761 subscribers. That needs to be 76,000 subscribers. Like his movie here. This is the one he just dropped. Let me. Can you let me know if you can hear this? Oh, I guess if I took it off mute.
Hello, amazing people. Welcome back to Finance Your Independence. Interesting things are happening.
That's the wrong video. Let me go to his playbook. Okay, here we go.
But he does have an awesome collection.
Finance Your Independence. Finally, we have a date for the Epic Cash listing on BitMart. This is going to be.
What's that?
Yeah, we can't hear anything, and you just skipped forward again.
Oh, you can't hear anything. Okay.
Yeah, and you're on the wrong video again.
I'm on the one he just dropped about.
You clicked the forward to the next.
Okay. All right, guys. It says share sound, so let me go to his thing again, and this one, right?
You're not screen sharing anymore.
Oh, Jesus. All right, guys. Boom. Now I'm not. Nope. Jeez. Okay. This is, welcome to live. Now let me, come on. There you go. Are we good?
It's on the video. Let's see if we can
Hello,
hear it
amazing
now.
people.
Nope,
Can you
can't
hear it?
anything.
Welcome back
No,
to
no sound.
Finance Your
That
Yeah, I can hear
Independence.
him. I can hear him.
Finally,
Oh, you
we
can hear
have
him?
a
Okay,
date
then I don't
for
need
the
to hear it
Epic
anyway.
Cash
It's fine. Go
listing
ahead.
on BitMart. This is going to be
Can
huge.
someone in the YouTube
All
chat
issues
say if
regarding
you can hear it,
deposits
please?
to
So we don't waste the
BitMart
time.
Exchange has been resolved. And
Okay,
thanks to the
it's not
developer
working.
team who work
I just,
each time we post a
I
new video.
just, actually, we
around
don't need to go
project.
through it.
This is a project that can live.
I just want to acknowledge this guy, Finance Your Independence, and please go there and subscribe to it. He just took the initiative to start covering Epic Cash. And what the most recent video that he just dropped is that we are going to be, we're going to be listed on BitMart, but this last week, we were going to be listed last week. But you know what? This community is a community of volunteers, including the devs that have been working tirelessly. What I have learned, from the sidelines is that integrating a layer 1 blockchain protocol is not easy peasy. It is very, very difficult on both sides, right? Including BitMart's tech. Now, even due to the time differences there in China, and many of our devs are all over the world, it's not that easy just to get everybody working at the same time, solving the same things. Long story tolerable is that we did open for deposits last week, and I went in and immediately did a test deposit of 100 Epic Cash, and it didn't go through. So raised the hand and said, hey guys, whoops, didn't go through. And so we halted it. Now, what had happened is it was a transfer from Vite to BitMart. So that specific transaction path had not been tested. And so you could say, look, an oversight, our bad, whatever. But instead of saying, doesn't matter, that's fine, other people can get their coins on the wallet, we called a timeout and we said the community will understand. Let's get this right so everybody can participate if they choose to. So the new date, it delayed it by 1 week, but I personally tested it yesterday from my wallet, was able to get wallets to BitMart or Coin Epic to BitMart, and was able to get them sent back to my wallet. So all is good. So here's the good news. On Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern time, they will open up deposits. That means when you go to the markets and you search for Epic Cash within BitMart, you're going to want to make sure that you have an account set up with them. It is KYC. The trading pair is going to be Epic and USDT. So if you want to acquire Epic, make sure that you go and that your arsenal is USDT, not Bitcoin. So if you have other coins and you want to acquire Epic through that exchange versus Vite, then make sure you have USDT. Fair warning, that is the only trading pair that will be there on BitMart. So you can start deposits at 11 a.m. on Monday, and that gives people plenty of times to deposit. And then trading begins 11 a.m. on Wednesday. So that's April 6th. So that's very, very exciting. They have been sending out to their 8 million users. They've been sending out messages. They're very excited. We are, they are exclusive to us. They are the exclusive exchange, the big boys, Max, can you give us a little bit of, I don't know, insight, coaching? I know that once you get on one exchange, which by the way, is not an easy lift. It took community donated funds for a market maker, for some marketing. It took coins from the treasury to be able to It is not easy, guys. This was not easy. So now I understand when people were ankle biting the end of last year. Oh, you guys suck because the E3 is delayed and BitMart is delayed. Guys, you know what? Sorry, love you, but gotta leave you in the rear view mirror because this has all been incredibly difficult. But we're there, man. This is such a milestone that's going to be beautiful. 8 million people plus access from all of the other people that learn about us. Most people out there are very comfortable going from KYC exchange to KYC exchange. So they're now going to be able to acquire Epic, and they're going to be able to do it the way they know how. But
and also, sorry to interject,
yeah,
but
sure.
so the way I look at it is, ever since inception, centralization resistance is so important. And as you've seen, they're the big dog, we are the small dog, and when they push us around, we have to do what they say. And imagine if we had gotten in bed with a Binance, early on or something, they would completely own us. I mean, that is how, if you read Vitalik's other posts, the road's not taken. If you read books about how these systems came together, you can pinpoint the road to perdition where those first steps began. And so we wanted to resist that for a variety of reasons. And only now, when we can add it as an add-on, nice to have option, not the centerpiece, is it not going to compromise what we already have? And so in the beginning, there were no exchanges. It was just mining. And so people could mine and they needed a place to trade. And so a few exchanges, fly-by-night scam ones, as it turned out, added us. It's an open protocol, github.com/epiccash. Anyone can go and do it. So exchanges like Citex, which is a scam, nobody should use it.
CITEX.
CITEX. It's pronounced, I believe it's, they pretend to be Korean. I think it's Chinese, but I've heard it pronounced Shitex, which is appropriate given how they have ripped people off. So don't use Shitex. There were some fly-by-night outfits that came and went, and people learned their lesson: not your keys, not your coins, and why we always reinforce the importance of trust minimization. And then I don't remember if they found us or we found them, but we linked up with the great guys over at Vite and VTEX. We found a way to get plugged in there, and that's been our main trading venue. Now that's great. There's a little over 2,000 present holders of the Epic 002 token. That doesn't include everybody who's purchased there and then downloaded to their local wallet. Again, we don't know how many Epic holders there are, but it's mined in 116 countries, 1,700 cities. So that gives an indication. So we have this one way that Epic can really be traded out to the rest of the $2.2 trillion crypto universe. And that's BTC. The entire Vite exchange does, I think, $100,000 a day, and most of that is us. So we are essentially the main coin on this exchange, and you have to jump through all kinds of unfamiliar hoops. They're easy when you know how, but if you don't know how, it's intimidating. And if all you care about is having a whirl with $20 of, let's take a fling on the wild side with a spicy crypto speculation, for $20, it's not worth it. Obviously, if you have skin in the game, as we all do, then you'll go there. So $100,000 a day, or let's say less than $1 million, on the order of thousands of users. And then you get to BitMart, which has 500 different coins. So if you have any of those 500 coins and you want to get into Epic, your life became dramatically easier thanks to BitMart. Is that worth going through KYC and submitting to surveillance for? I think a lot of people will say yes. Also, not having to learn all this stuff. If you're crypto curious and casual and just beginning your journey, that's a lot to ask in terms of commitment. If you know how to use Coinbase, you can know how to use BitMart with all the learning curve that requires.
Mm-hmm.
And so 500 plus coins or connections out to other coins. We will have a USDT pair. So if you have, let's say, Pirate Chain or Monero, I don't think they handle those, but let's say you have some token, you would have to sell that for USDT and then buy Epic for USDT. And then we recommend, it's always a good practice to withdraw to your local wallet, not your keys, not your coins. And that also prevents them from fractionally reserving our precious scarce supply. We don't want them lending out our users' coins to people that would otherwise have to buy them on the market. And that compromises the whole point of scarcity, which is another reason we didn't want to get in bed with the centralized providers too soon, lest they become dominant. Most of Monero out there is paper Monero, and it suffers a lot in terms of market manipulations from fractional reserve. If you're into XMR and you've done your homework, you know what I'm talking about. So here's the key point that I think a lot of people are missing. If BitMart does under 1 million a day, if BTEX does under 1 million a day, BitMart does multiple billions a day. The amount of economic energy that can go into and out of Epic on a moment-to-moment daily basis just is about to go up by 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
If you can feed the plant 1,000 times more water and fertilizer, you think it's going to grow? I do.
Well, let's just talk about this a little bit about anticipated price action. This is a thread. I wish I'd kept my 1,700 BTC at 0.06 instead of selling them at 30 cents. Now they're at $8. Unpack that, Max.
Yeah. So there are two. I talk to crypto people all the time, all day, every day for years. And if you've been in crypto a while and you're not a billionaire, then you usually have to go through a process of going, well, what did I do wrong? And generally it falls into two categories. Selling too soon is a major one, as Greg Schoen.eth discovered. 1,700 BTC, what is that? $70 million today. So right idea, right coin, wrong timing and decision making. Should have just held there, Greg. Now, he probably didn't see the potential, which is why we need to educate people about the potential that we have. Oh, it pulled down. Can you put it back up?
Oh, sure.
So I can see it.
Yeah, I was going to show another one.
A different one. Oh, okay. Yeah. So Greg thought that selling for a 500% gain, he bought them at 6 cents. He sold them at 30 cents. Nice work if you can get it. That's an amazing trade. How many stock investors have had a 5x in their life? Some, not many. And usually you have to balance out with quite a few stinkers, and you have to do it over a long period of time. And he said, "Oh my God, I feel like a knucklehead. They're $8 now."
Yeah.
And that was 2011. And so where we are in our journey, Epic is 2.5 years old. In 2028, there will be 20.3 million BTC at the network layer, probably hundreds of millions in people's accounts due to fractional reserve. But at least at the network layer, there will be 20.3 million BTC and a new supply emitted by the network of 210 coins per day. There will also be 20.3 million Epic, and the network will also emit 210 coins per day. So if the airplane is designed exactly the same as the one that came before, and it's been flying for years the same way, then it stands to reason that it probably will continue to fly. And so go ahead and pull up the next one. There's countless of these.
Bitcoin is down 270 a pop. $2.70 a pop. So glad I didn't buy in on that mess.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we have over a decade of crypto history to look at here, and so the long-term potential is fundamentally a benefit of the scarcity profile, which is identical as BTC. And so I think it would be a shame if people understood if you don't understand how precious what you have is and you sell it too cheap, you may be kicking yourself, because people regret minimization framework. Let's think about the future and what decisions can we make today that would avoid feeling bad in the future. These guys feel bad because they sold too soon. Now, a lot of people, what they also do is they go in too small. I got into Bitcoin at $100 and I kept it all this time, but I only put 20 bucks in. Right. And then the third one is trying to trade. So if you think you can read the tea leaves and draw lines on charts and divine the meaning of the chicken bones, good for you. But if you try to trade Epic, most people who trade are going to be outperformed by a simple buy and hold strategy. And so if you don't do those three things, if you don't sell too soon, because remember, you're going to be able to borrow against your holdings when a USD comes out. If you don't sell too soon, if you don't size your position inappropriately, some people it's appropriate to be all in, some not so much. But if you have 1% of your crypto portfolio in Epic, respectfully, what in the world are you doing? You're going to feel pretty silly not long from now. And just be patient. If you were a genius trader, then maybe you will be that 1 out of 1,000 that plays poker better than the other suckers in the casino who are losing money. But bulls make money, bears make money. I can't remember that old Wall Street quote. Todd would know it. But yeah, just sit tight. Financially, sit tight, but definitely do not take that passive attitude that the BTC community exhibits. We need people to get involved. This is an active participatory exercise. We have the Epicenter DAO and the ECR token coming on stream, where like Uncle V, like Ernest Cosmic, like Mother Trucker, like Yoga, like about 200 of us, all volunteers in 70 countries. If you can get your oar in the water and help make Epic go, as you do, Uncle, you can view Epic as your own small business that no one can take away, and you can grow it.
And I do. And just because I know there's going to be people that are going to be coming from the conference to watch this, you've probably, many of you have some experience with some other subscription services, one in particular that does refer to us as Epic Trash. And I just want to let you know that we've conceded, we've bent a knee, and indeed we are Epic Trash. Max, can you please share with us what this picture represents?
Yeah, so we made a strategic decision early on, and it's one that I'm quite proud of. And also I'm proud that we've had the fortitude to resist for so long. We're not philosophically opposed to paid marketing and advertising and promotion. It is a pay-to-play world, and very specifically a pay-to-play industry. And so if you haven't heard about Epic from the names you know, and you're wondering why, that's the answer. It's because we refuse to pay them. But we are pretty good at guerrilla marketing, and here we can kill two birds with one stone. So Epicenter DAO is not monolithic. It's a DAO of DAOs, or a meta DAO. And one of those baby DAOs, if you will, is called Epic Impact. It's t.me/Epic Impact. If you want to make a positive impact in the world, Epic can help you do that. And we lead by example. And so what we did in Miami, that's me in the middle. You can see I'm a couple hundred years old. Is we said, okay, we're going to put on our team gear, our swag. If you go to Epic Swag Store, I can't remember the domain. It's on the link tree, but Shelly D runs a swag store with these amazing shirts. Robin didn't have one. He'll have to order when the next batch comes in. So we went out there and we picked up trash. So it only took us an hour. This is only 3 of the bags. We had a whole bunch of them off to the side. There were too many. we crowdfunded through epicfundme.com those little pickup grabbers and things. And no, this stuff is not expensive. I mean, it's the point of it. It's not just what you do, it's how you do it. So we crowdfunded, crowdsourced an initiative to say, hey, we're going to go show up at this street corner where it's filthy. This is where Yoga and I live in Miami, and we walk by there every day and it's disgusting. So we said, okay, we're going to go clean this up. We picked up the trash. We did 2 areas. That's a soccer field there. We're going to hopefully maybe get some jerseys going or a banner or something. We helped them, their place become more beautiful. So maybe they'll scratch our back. You know what I mean? Stuff like this is going on all over the world. Incidentally, change starts with you. And as a reminder, be the change you want to see in the world. That's always a good idea. And so it took us an hour. We knocked it out. And yes, we made a positive contribution to the attractiveness of that small part of the city of Miami. But you know what we also did is we had people stopping us on the street and going, hey, is that Epic? What are you guys doing there? Oh my God, that's so amazing. We got new wallets. We got people signed up to the Telegram. We got all kinds of new social presence. This is the kind of coverage that you cannot buy. If we had unlimited budget. Now remember, there's hundreds of billions of hot crypto money out there that is going into promotion every day. BitBoy charges $50,000 for a video. That
$50,000. We saw the price. We saw the price.
Yeah. So, you know, good for him. I mean, he's a celebrity, and celebrity has a value, and he monetizes it. That is awesome. But people also need to recognize when they're consuming marketing and people talking their own book, and when it's authentic. And so your style, Uncle V, may not be for everyone. Ernest Cosmic may not be for everyone. Choose what you like and take what you like and leave the rest. But the point is, everybody who's out there talking about Epic is doing so out of an authentic conviction that it is something worthwhile. And people are deluged with marketing, with schemes and scams, and come on. Crypto has had a very sordid past and an unsavory reputation, and we're working hard to fix that. And so this is an example of the hive mind at work. An idea comes up. If it's no good, it doesn't get any traction. If it is good, then people come together. And I would love to see stuff like this all over the world. I think we have the tooling in place to really do great things.
Thank you. So speaking of the community, we do have really legitimately one of the best communities in crypto. And we invite you to just start at t.me/Epic Cash, t.me/Epic Cash. That's on Telegram. That's where most of our engagement happens. Once you get into that kind of welcome lobby, if you will, you'll be able to see that there's lots of other places that you can go if you're interested in mining, if you're interested in trading, we have our ladies of Epic, which they are just amazing. There are people who are creators who have pivoted their currency accepted from green cash to Epic Cash and have launched these beautiful businesses. And you will find, if that's you, if you have a business and you accept Epic Cash, you will find the Epic community to be very, very generous, wanting to be able to help you, wanting to be able to support you. Now, speaking of what we all can do, the way I look at Epic Cash and the way I look at my bag, if you will, my holdings, is as my business. And how can I personally impact my business? Well, I take responsibility for it. I don't sit on the sidelines waiting for other people to do things. I do this channel, which is why I wish there were 1,000 people out there covering Epic Cash, doing their own channels, protecting their own investment, advancing their own investment in Epic Cash, but also always on the lookout for opportunities to be able to go out and evangelize Epic. There is a wonderful woman in Epic Cash. Her name is Mother Trucker. And indeed, she is a mother and she is a trucker. And she informed me about 3 weeks ago that I live in Tampa. She said that there is one of the suburbs of Tampa is called Brandon. And there is a conference in Brandon called a Let's Go Brandon conference. So you'll either giggle at that or it'll go over your head. But these are people who freedom and privacy is very important to them. Very, very important to them, while being on the right side of the law. And they just people that are just like, let me do my thing, leave me alone. My life is my life. So we made the decision to become exhibitors there, and we chose the package that was the package that was higher, so that I could get up on stage and have about 5 minutes to be able to give an elevator overview of Epic Cash. And I want to let you know how the community comes together for this. So literally in the last 3 weeks, you guys don't see Spencer very often, but you do see Spencer quite often, if you will. Here is what he did. Now, this is 8.5 by 11, but when we went to Kinko's and had it cut, you can imagine these are handouts that we are going to have at the conference. So we have 2 handouts. I'm going to show them to you, but this is we have the resources for you to have impact in your own local community. Go exhibit places, guys. Try to find some place to where, if there are places where, especially if it's freedom-minded, privacy-minded, or people who are crypto curious, go set up a table. It's not that hard. I mean, I took these and I found these stands to where I can just sit them on the table, and then people can scan that barcode, and it's going to take them to epic.tech. I have both the unconfiscatable private property, and then the other one is the crypto you should know. So those are going to be sitting on our, little 4x8 table. And then I am just right after this show, I'm on my way to pick up some 8.5 by 11 plexiglass for this one. Where is it? There we go. So this is a 2-pager. You can see 2-pager. Now, this is one that, man, I'm telling you, go to t.me/Epic Cash. You'll find this there. Or if you wait until I render it, I'll include a link to this down below. But this is everything anybody needs, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I intend. I had 250 of these printed. I intend, and yes, I invested 200 because it's color front and back. It ended up being $250. Now, I could have gone to the community, set up an Epic Fund Me, and raised that. But I look at my investment that, you know what, this is just me marketing, because the more that I can create mass adoption in my little way, that's good for me. So it's worth spending $250 in the price of the conference to be able to participate, to speak to so many like-minded people. And this is really what it's about: financial freedom for the masses. Whoops, I don't like that. Oh, what the heck happened here? I just screwed that up.
Click the top. Okay, on the right hand side, the red. Yeah, go down. Click the red.
That?
Oh no, I'm not using this one. Okay, you went into the edit. Yeah, there you go.
All right, how do I get rid of that?
The little arrow to the move your mouse left, down.
Down.
There you go.
There you go. Now let me
I guess not.
escape and go. Okay, there you go. Thank you. Sorry, guys, but welcome to Epic Live. I just wanted to get, okay, there we go. But what's cool, so this is about financial freedom for the masses. And I thought it would be a nice touch, noteworthy. Epic Cash is the cryptocurrency featured within the upcoming made-for-television series Trillions from Academy Award-winning producer Jonathan Sanger, and the poster that has been created. Now, in the back, this is what's really cool. I love this. These are all of the key positive attributes. So the people who are watching this from the conference, if we didn't have an opportunity to speak, I just really encourage you to please just take a look at these, freeze frame it, and go through. But between Max and Todd Lewis, who you met at the beginning of the show, you know, they had these. As a matter of fact, Max, I'm telling you, in addition to these positive attributes, by the way, I had mine laminated, and I have some for Mother Truckers so that we can be talking to people all day long and not get them crinkled. That's just a pro tip from somebody who's been to lots of different conferences. But I also have, Max, you gave it to me in Vegas. I have one of, I think it was 100 or maybe a little more white papers that you physically had produced for Epic Cash. So I'm not going to let anyone probably touch this because this is mine.
There's an interesting story behind that. I wanted to test a theory that there were blind spots in the institutional investor marketplace as far as venture funding for new assets and asset management. So there's about 1,000 today. There's 1,000 sector-focused digital asset funds. There, you look at their website and it says, "Oh, we are the smartest money. We find the new technology first. We back entrepreneurs with conviction and blah 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 blah." Okay, I hear what you say, but I see what you do. So we printed the Epic white paper, $250. This was like a lot of money. These are almost 20 pages, and it's on the highest quality production stuff money can buy. I have a background in the print industry, so we FedExed 700 of those to every fund on the planet. And do you know how overwhelmingly raucous the response was? Absolute crickets. Nobody bothered to even respond. And so as we go to our destiny, our top spot, number one atop the charts, any conversation as we build out the other 12 protocols in the stack, go ahead and pull up the subway map, and we'll use this to wrap it up because we're getting late here. As we build out these other protocols in the stack, those are going to need institutional support, and we're going to be able to have some conversations that go, "Hey, you missed out on the biggest thing in the history of ever in Epic. Maybe you'd like to take our phone call now as we build these other things. You want to build those with us?"
It's probably an older version, but that's the best I got for you, buddy.
Yeah, that will certainly work. So as we build out these other components in the stack, those further unlock the potential of Epic. Right now, all you can do with Epic is transfer it between a fairly small group of people. But when you can wrap your Epic on another blockchain such as Avalanche or Polkadot or Solana or BSC or any one of these other ones, you can wrap your Epic and sell it off on KYC exchanges for a premium, because they can't do privacy assets in many cases, but they can do surveillable tokens. So by wrapping your Epic token or your Epic coin into an E1 token, you can do that. But you can also issue yourself a loan. This is where ECR comes in. If you have ECR and you have Epic, you'll be able to issue yourself a loan against your holdings, so you don't have to sell. So as Epic goes up, today you want to buy something, you have to sell it. You also have to give up on future appreciation, and you need to budget money for taxes. Even if you have smart deferral strategies in place, you ultimately do have to pay the piper. So there's a loss there. Now, when you issue yourself a loan and let inflation work for you, then you're on the right side of the money printer for once. And so we don't have time to get into all the rest of these, but over the course of the next 6 years, between now and the singularity, the Epic chain will be able to do more transactions, not just Epic, but also fungible tokens like ERC20 type tokens, and also non-fungible tokens. We'll be able to do more capacity than Visa over the next few years. We've got a roadmap out to over 6,000 transactions a second without introducing sharding and without compromising proof of work or introducing centralization or trust or permissioning, all that good stuff. So we're going to have a really fat pipe that can be a settlement layer and a value transfer layer for the internet of money. And that's really what we're doing here.
All right. So Max, and I need you to keep this succinct because I have a hard stop coming up soon, but in less than 5 minutes, I'd like to end on this, just to reinforce and remind people, Satoshi Sandcastle, why BTC is not Bitcoin, and why Epic Cash is more Bitcoin than BTC.
Yeah, so if you read the white paper, actually it looks like trust should probably be the central pillar because Satoshi mentioned it a dozen times. In practice, the way it's worked out since then, censorship resistance has been far and away the most important property of why systems such as BTC even have a value. And so this is what matters. If you peel away all the marketing and all the hand waving and all the propaganda, the utility of the Bitcoin design, which Epic represents better than BTC at this point, it rests on these principles or these pillars. So censorship resistance means that nobody can block your access to the system. Now, the school teacher in Canada who used the system and discovered that she lost her livelihood and her job, she was censored. So BTC does not have censorship resistance, at least for her. Maybe it does for you based on how you use it and where you live for now, but that is increasingly in question. It needs to be permissionless. You don't need to ask anybody's permission and fill out forms to use the system. You don't want to have to trust anyone because if you place your trust in a third party, they can violate that trust. And the whole point of Bitcoin is not to have to trust anyone. That's what the decentralization, the proof of work mining and the nodes all ensure. It needs to be neutral so that it doesn't favor any specific parties. Heavily centralized systems. Ethereum was born with a 70% pre-mine and is the exclusive domain of early whales for the most part. 2% of BTC is owned by 95% of addresses. And it's the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. And so those systems are not neutral. Epic is neutral. BTC is increasingly not a borderless system because if you use the Chivo wallet in the government run system of El Salvador, then you have your own little island. You can do business with people on that system and you have a bridge in essence to the rest of the world rather than a single seamless network. And it's also not very open. Blockstream and the big exchanges and mining companies, basically the vested interests in BTC determine the course of development, and they've decided to strangle layer 1 capacity at 4 transactions a second to preserve their lucrative monopolies on layer 2 solutions such as Liquid and Lightning. So BTC in many people's eyes, and I agree with them, stands for been totally compromised or curtailed or crippled or castrated. I could go on, but it gets worse. If we had more time, I would expound at length. But fractional reserve. The whole point of Bitcoin is 21 million, but due to fractional reserve and this HODL ideology, if you leave your coins on the exchange, they lend them out and get interest from another party. If you want to have coins on your balance sheet for whatever reason, you used to have to go and buy them or mine them. Well, now you can just borrow them. So they've taken demand away from the market at the same time that they've increased the supply. Now, right now, we're inflated on this marketing-driven steroids, this ridiculous narrative that a fax machine is going to be worth $250,000. So buy it today at 47. In time, that'll be seen to be as ridiculous as I find it, but it's the narrative for now. And so fractional reserve is undermining the scarcity. You also have tainted coins, which means you have to worry about which coins you get. Would you take $1 million in BTC from someone in the Azov militia in Ukraine right now, Uncle? Would you do business with Venezuelans, North Koreans, Syrians? Like, you'd have to be insane, right? And the problem is you don't have to even do business with them. If you get it from somebody who got it from somebody.
Yes. 3 hops back.
Yeah, or 6 or whatever. Coinbase just shut down 25,000 accounts for the language in here was believed to be Russian linked. What is a Russian link and what is a belief of a Russian link?
You know, Max, my wife is Russian, so I guess I'm believed to be Russian linked. I'm pretty sure. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that, man.
Dude, you're getting banned.
They're being surveilled.
we have a Russian on the line. Yoga, you're originally from Estonia. That's close enough. You speak Russian. Let's blacklist Yoga off the system.
Guys, I wish we were joking. I really do wish we were joking. Okay, look, we're 15 minutes over, but I thought that this was it was warranted. So thank you, everyone. I have lost my mouse, so I don't even know how to stop the share. There we go. Ooh, it's been quite a tech day. But look, so have a great weekend, everyone. Really appreciate you. Sneaky suspicion, just not investment advice, but for all of you who have been in Epic for a while, I think you will pick up what I'm putting down, but probably the days of cheap Epic are going to be in our rear view mirror. That's a whole lot of users, 8 million of them, that are now going to finally have access to BitMart and or to Epic Cash through BitMart. And last thing, Max, before I say goodbye to everyone, the nature of the beast, keep it under a minute. The nature of the beast, once you get listed on a major exchange, other exchanges tend to follow to where they don't put a gun to your head and basically provide the usurious demands, correct?
Yeah, so BitMart all told cost, it was 50 for the listing, and then there's all kinds of other fees for that they get you for. I'm gonna call it $125 all in, 125K. Some of those are costs, some of those are deposits, and some of those are reserves and whatnot. But overall, it was a significant bite. And sounds like a lot of money until you realize that the going rate for shitcoin listings as far back in 2017
not implying we're a shitcoin.
Well, we don't play the game. That's why we're not on any of these places. So we are the opposite of a shitcoin by our not having done this. But it was $5 million back in 2017. Yeah, I mean, Hotbit is a literal scam, and they'll charge you. And Ascendex, they're another scam. They keep changing their name every few years. The business model is to charge usually about $500,000 from pump and dump tokens that they go in this first day pump. Oh my God, it's going to the moon, rush in, FOMO buy, and people get their eyelids ripped off. And so it's an industry. In China, they call it cutting leaks. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so we need to be careful in tempering our enthusiasm and believing our own press releases. And we are likely to get more listings, but we're not going to pay for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. Having gone through this whole process, like, I'm really glad we're on a KYC exchange to be able to tell people there are two ways to be able to acquire us, KYC and non-KYC, but I'm totally not interested in going through this process ever again with any other exchange that is that's going to be pay to play. This is a community. That 125,000 you referenced was raised by the community, and thank you out there for those who did. But man, to be able to, and this is for all the people out there who've been, Monday morning quarterbacks saying we should be on this exchange or that exchange or whatever. Step up. You know what?
My favorite is, why doesn't somebody do this, or why does somebody do this? And be a somebody.
Right. Yeah, be somebody. Okay, guys, I really have to run or I'm going to miss my next meeting, but have a great weekend. Those of you who I spoke with at the conference who are watching this now, thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you, and really do hope you come into t.me/epic cash for a proper welcome and get involved. I think you're really going to like what you see. Okay, everyone, have a great weekend. Everyone in the chat, thank you. Gotta love you and leave you. Cheers.
Stay epic.
Stay epic.